Okay, so bird flu here. Checking the recording real quick. Okay, this is a new thing, kind of a new. I did an episode sort of like this on my YouTube channel, which if you're watching the video portion of this, you already know because it's on the same channel. But I'm doing something kind of new because if you're listening to the audio portion of this, that's the new part. Is that I found out that on the website SoundCloud, there's an app where you just kind of press a button and then just record straight from your phone to the website and just kind of upload it right. You don't have to upload anything really, it's just kind of already there. The recording's just onto the website. So that's what I'm doing right now, is that if you're watching the video, right behind me there's my phone, my other phone. I'm recording on the one phone. The other phone's right here recording my voice, which the audio is really, really good. Like if you're watching the video, you're getting kind of really shitty audio because the other phone has kind of a shitty microphone. But the one I'm recording the audio portion with is really good. See, it would be perfect if I could just kind of edit things together, but I don't have a laptop and it's all kinds of stuff. But here's the show. I haven't really come up with a definite name yet, but I'm thinking of calling it Batman Book Club. Because of the fact that I'm a very huge Batman fan, and I've been reading a lot of Batman comics lately just because of how much I love the character and the universe and just everything about him. And so I figure, once a week or once every couple weeks, I'm going to record both the video and the audio portion. Definitely an audio portion. I'm not quite sure about video every week, but hopefully the audio thing goes well. Is also because if it comes through well and uploads easily, we're probably going to do on the other channel. The rest of us, the Ferret and Alex and everyone else, we're probably going to do a podcast using that. So hopefully things work out well. But at the very least, we're getting a new show on my channel. Okay, so this week we're talking about Batman Hush, and if you haven't heard of it, it's probably one of the best Batman stories I've read in a while. Now, I talked about last time of Batman Cacophony and Batman the Widening Gyre, which are just fantastic, like it's ones that Kevin Smith did. But Batman Hush is pretty great in its own kind of unique way, because it kind of introduces sort of a new villain, but not really, because it uses a lot of older villains to kind of support it, and it's pretty great. And they also bring back all kinds of references to things that happened in the past. And here's for the video. There's the cover here. It's by, I guess, Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee, and they've done a couple of them in the past as well, Batman ones. And it's really, really good. The art style is amazing. It's like just super detailed and just great action shots of just Batman kind of being himself. And they have moments where he's kind of struggling with whether he should kill or not. And there's all kinds of really intense story-driven parts. One thing that's really great in there is they even have a very intense kind of. I'm not big on love interest things in the comic book world. I like more the dark, gritty stuff. That's why Batman's kind of my thing. But I do like seeing his kind of human side every now and then. Like in this, they have both Selina Kyle, Catwoman, and Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter, who are both like the main love interest characters in the universe. There's other ones in the series too, but in this, it's it's kind of played up really heavily, and it just kind of shows like he's kind of dealing with whether he can trust people or not, and there's all kinds of stuff, and they do a lot of references to the Robins as well, which is really cool, where Dick Grayson is in there a lot, kind of is just a side character, not really there for the action portion of it, but more he's just kind of there, for just kind of for the story, which is really cool, because you don't need to just throw in reference, just throw in people from the universe for just a random fight scene, you can have them in there to kind of push the story along too, and I kind of like when they do that. And they have, in this, Tim Drake is the Robin currently, and it's several years after Jason Todd gets beaten to death, or beaten up and then blown up by the Joker. And they kind of have that plot. If you've seen Under the Red Hood or read the comic, you know that Jason Todd eventually comes back from the dead and takes revenge on everybody. And they have that plot line in this book, but there's going to be spoilers here, it kind of has a really big twist in the fact that it's every clue points to the fact that Jason Todd's back from the dead. They even have like a really badass shot of like an adult Jason Todd, like an aged version of him, wearing sort of a badass kind of Robin-like outfit with like a trench coat and shit, and he's like vicious and dangerous, and it's really really cool. But it turns out to just be Clayface trying to disguise himself as Jason Todd, but has to pick sort of an older adult version because they didn't really know that it was Jason Todd who died, or so it was some kind of a thing, and they couldn't really match the voice, so they had to kind of make it different, and that's kind of what gave them away to Batman. And but the point is, they still find out that his body's removed, and he has no idea where Jason Todd is at all. So he figures out it is kind of a ruse, it's not real, but he doesn't know where Jason Todd's body is, and of course that leads into eventually Jason Todd does come back from the dead, and it's not a lie, it actually happens for real. But there's all kinds of really cool stuff, and the villain is kind of generated out of like several villains kind of plotting to take on Batman, kind of led by the Riddler, which is pretty strange. I mean, he has a lot of help, but it's weird that he's the mastermind of the situation when he's always kind of like the idiot of the villains. He's like the least dangerous of all of them. He says like a riddle and steals $5 from an old lady and gets his ass beat. It's pretty much, pretty much how it goes, and he's actually kind of the mastermind behind the whole thing, which is pretty interesting. But I like that, and there's a cool Batman Superman fight in here, which I always love because I've always had the theory, even before they ever started putting it into the comics and the movies and the stuff, that Batman would definitely be able to beat Superman in the fight. Not because he's stronger, because he obviously isn't, he's a human. Because he's smarter. He plans, it's like, if Superman gets out of control, everyone could die. So what will Batman do? Batman would obviously preemptively get a hold of Kryptonite, being the billionaire that he is, and just have it in case of an emergency. So I've always had that theory, and then they show in the movie Batman Doom, or Justice League Doom. I think it's Justice League Doom, where like Batman does have kind of a contingency plan for every Justice League member, where he'll be able to take them down if they get out of control, including Superman. And in The Dark Knight Returns, which I haven't actually read the book of, which I'm going to order it here soon, but I have seen the movie, the cartoon movie, multiple times. He battles Superman in that, and of course, again, he had the kryptonite and managed to get him near death, but decided to spare him, obviously, because Batman does not kill. And then in this, he again has like a kryptonite ring and beats, Clark near to death. But it's still like, in this one, it's shown that Superman actually gave him that ring, so it's not like he already had that planned out. But the point is, I love whenever they show it, and that's part of why I'm so excited for a Batman Superman movie, because I love the dynamic, and I love just the contrast of like the most powerful man in the world, like in strength and everything, and then an ordinary human who can still rival him at like every aspect, even though he has like so little in comparison, when you look at it on paper. And I just really enjoy that. But basically, this book is really good. I don't remember the exact issues it collects together, but it basically, I only spent like $9 on it on Amazon, and it's pretty a thick read. It's it's got all the characters. It has Harley Quinn and the Joker and Two-Face, and Two-Face has his face fixed with plastic surgery, so he's he's kind of playing like a different sort of role. He's calling himself Harvey Dent again, and but he's still kind of playing this kind of double-crossing type thing, and the Huntress is in it, having kind of weird conflicts, and it's just, there's a lot of really cool references and a lot of really awesome things. You got a lot of interesting stuff. Like every kind of, it seems like it's almost an excuse to draw all the characters of DC in like the most awesome way possible, because these guys, the art style is just amazing in it, and it was really, really fun to read. Like I sat, it's a pretty decent sized book, and I just sat and read it all in like one sitting. I wasn't even gonna put it down for a second. It was pretty fantastic. But yeah, it's really cool. Batman's definitely my favorite hero just because of how great every piece of story is. I know this was kind of a short episode, but it's more to the fact that I'm talking by myself and I'm not really discussing with anyone in particular. Hopefully, I'll be able to get with either Ferret or someone else and get to have kind of a conversation. So I'm not just kind of talking about. So I can only, talk so much about one issue, by myself. So, but either way, whether there's someone else here or not next week or next 2 weeks or whenever I record another one, the next one the next episode is gonna be about Batman Year One by Frank Miller, who also wrote the Dark Knight Returns, and it follows Batman's first year as the Batman and Jim Gordon becoming commissioner and all of this stuff. And I'm sure most of you have probably seen the cartoon movie, which I have seen, but I have not actually read the book yet, and I have it coming tomorrow, which is a Monday. So I'll get it and I'll read through it and kind of prepare another episode. So read up on it, because obviously I'm going to spoil the hell out of everything inside of it, or just at least watch the movie, but probably want to read the book to get what I'm talking about with, the art and the writing and everything specifically, because obviously they don't translate exactly over the platforms, the media. So I meant, but yeah, so that was the episode. Check out if you're on SoundCloud and you're listening to it, if you want to check out the video, go to my YouTube channel, Mr. Bird Flu. You probably want to check out my other YouTube channel as well that I have with Ferret and Alex and all of them, An Idiot and an Asshole. We're going to probably change the name of that channel at some point, but as of now, it's called An Idiot and an Asshole. You can also follow us on Twitter, Bird and Ferret, at Bird and Ferret, and get updates of new videos and new whatever there. So, yeah, that's it. So, till next time.